Hi Libra, welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for August of 2020. For you this month, Mars is going to be moving into your opposing sign, which could bring some conflict to your relationships. And Julia will tell you about that in a minute. I'll have some stuff for you about the new and full moons, and then we're going to throw Mercury and Venus in there as well. Hey Julia, what are things going to be like for Libra this month?
Oh, good question. Well, hey, Libra. So, as Jamie mentioned, Mars is slowing down this month. It's going to go retrograde next month, but even when it's slowing down, we begin to feel it. Um, and when Mars goes retrograde, that just means that we're experiencing a lot of frustrations in some area of our life.
Hmm.
For you specifically, Libra, this is going to correlate with your seventh house. The seventh house is the house of partnership, and that includes romantic relationships, and that also includes any type of partnership you're part of. That could be a business partner. This house is also can symbolize consultants too, who are in your life. If you're consulting with a lawyer, for example. So, in all these areas, you might be experiencing a lot more frustration in these types of one-to-one relationships during this cycle. And Jamie and I created a video of Mars retrograde cycle and how it's going to affect the world at large too. So you also might want to check that out as well. So brace yourself for maybe some conflict, some conflicts in your relationship during this time. Now, a positive way of also looking at it is you might be in some coordinated effort with a partner too. Like since Mars is where we put our energy and drive, this cycle could also be a time where you two are also getting a lot of things done together. But conflicts can definitely happen. Now, Mercury, the planet of communication and mentation, is direct and moving quickly. It enters the sign Leo on August 4th, and that correlates with your 11th house. That's the house of long-term goals. That's the house of groups and friends. So your best thinking and your best communication might be within a group context. If you've got some idea you need to kind of figure out, ask your friends what they think. You also might be putting your mind to sort of planning and strategizing some long-term goal that you have during the cycle too, so take notes. Venus, the planet of art, beauty, relationships, is also direct and moving quickly this month, and she enters the sign of Cancer on August 7th, which correlates with your 10th house. That's the house of career as well as the house of public reputation. So your public reputation might get a bit of a boost during this cycle. Let's say you have a social media presence, for example. This can be a nice transit for that. And since it's also the house of career, you could also be getting along really well with either your clients, your coworkers, your boss, any authority figures in your life, like parents and teachers too, could be ruled by the 10th house as well. So lovely cycle for that.
We have a couple of moons this month, starting with a full moon on the 3rd of August, right here in your axis of community. And it involves a full moon in the 5th house, opposite a sun in the 11th house. The 11th being, as Julia mentioned a minute ago, the house of friends and community, tribe, groups that you belong to. And then the moon in Aquarius is falling in your 5th house of creativity and self-expression. Now, self-expression might not be the thing that you're biggest on. You're maybe more of a social person. So this is, I think this moon stands to bring a lot of impact because there's really quite a bit of conflict built into it. There's quite a bit of stubbornness built into it. So this 5th house moon is going to sort of pull you towards yourself, feeling like, who am I relative to my friends? Like I hang with my friends, but how do they contextualize me? Do they do it in a way that really works for me? And isn't it nice, Libra, to be a little self-centered every once in a while? I think it's actually a good thing for you. So there's a bit of a dynamic tension built into this moon, and even more so because of the way that it squares Uranus. And Uranus brings up the unexpected. It's traveling through your 8th house long term, and so there could be some, unexpected arguments and flare-ups in your intimate life that are connected with this. So I think some similar advice to what we gave to Virgo would apply. Don't have your friends mediating your relationship with your partner. Don't have your partner mediating your relationship with your friends. It could get really dicey this month. So later on in the month, on the 18th, we have a new moon and that is in Leo, back again in your house of friends and communities. Now, this moon is actually really sweet because it has a grand trine and fire built right into it. And we've dubbed this moon message received loud and clear because it's a really great time for broadcasting and expression of voice. And with Mercury in that house too, there's definitely a strong theme of like your community finding its voice, and perhaps you can be the mouthpiece for that, because anything that you say and speak on behalf of your community, your tribe, the people that you feel contextualized by in a sense of belonging with, could really, that message could just sail out into the world and really be heard in a big way. So you can find out more about these topics in our videos, and Julia mentioned the video about Mars triggering the pandemic hot degree, and you'll find that in our August 2020 news playlist. You'll also find videos about this month's 2 moons there. And if you wanted a reading this month, then probably you would want one around those social themes because of Mars being in your house of partnership and all the activity in your 11th house of friends. For that, you might want a lifelong love reading if the focus is to be more on your partnership. But you might also just want a plain old natal and transit reading where you can talk about, how does my group, how does society contextualize me or not, and how should I push back about that? So if you want a reading like that, you can find us, Jamie or Julia, to get that reading on pandoraastrology.com/services. And until next month, Libra, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye.